It is game 2, Western Conference semifinals, and the Spurs trying to defend their castle. And they're doing so tonight. 59-35 is your halftime score.
I caught that, Ernie.
Yeah,
Been their
their
castle.
home, their castle,
Okay.
stuffed castle.
I got it.
That was,
like-
that was a nice play on words, Ernie, but Kenny didn't get it.
Oh, yes, he did.
I just said I got it, and now you got it.
Hey, it's NBA halftime. It's presented by Hyundai. Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, and sitting in for Shaquille O'Neal is Draymond Green.
Where is Shaquille again?
He's on assignment.
Yeah, what assignment? This dude, he's not on an assignment because, exactly. Because if you're on assignment, pretty much all three of us would know what you're doing. You know, when Chuck is out, I'm like, oh, Chuck had to do this. Ernie out, we know what to do. When I was out, you're like, oh, he
Hey,
went to a
man,
wedding.
hey, he's not here. Shut the hell up. Can we get to what we're talking
When
about?
Shaq's not here, we should know where he is.
What were we talking about? How San Antonio's got a 24-point lead?
I want to know where he
Yeah,
is.
I told you tonight to me would be a fair indication of how good San Antonio. I thought the last game they had been out for a while. I thought the same thing I said earlier. The same thing happened to Oklahoma City. They came out a little flat. This is a team Minnesota gonna have to beat 3 more times.
Is there anything in that equation that involves we got our split?
No,
Minnesota?
no. This is the team right here. And I told you, to me, the key to the Spurs, I always said, who's going to score? And to me, I found out in the playoffs, it was Fox. Fox played, he's got 14. I know I love Castle. But De'Aaron Fox, to me, is the guy who had to step up. He's got to get them 20 points a night, in my opinion. Then those young kids going to come along. But this is the team defensively, because like I say, they just didn't play good in game 1 and had a shot to win at the buzzer. Minnesota didn't play great. But if you go back and look at that game, like, man, the Spurs played awful. Victor couldn't buy anything. Fox played bad. And they still had a shot at the buzzer to win. But this is a team they're going to have to beat 3 more times.
I think we have an epic moment, which is presented by Hyundai, which will give you a snapshot of the first half. And in the first half, Minnesota with 35 points. Wemby, Castle, and Fox combining for 40. It's the lowest scoring half of the season, regular season included, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Before you start rolling your pictures, I need to know what it's like when Wemby is your guy. How do you defend him?
Well, number one, I think you try to make him uncomfortable. You press up into him. You have to do your work early because, as we'll see when I do roll my pictures, if he gets position, there's nothing you can do. He's 7'5". He shoots. He has a high release point. He shoots over the top. So you have to do your work early with getting positioning. But another thing is important is your guards defending. If you got guys getting downhill off straight line drives, he's at the rim getting lobs. You can't stop him. So I think he did a great job. He's doing a great job tonight of inserting himself, but
Now
you
you
got to
can-
do their work early.
Yeah, roll them, boys. Let's see what we got. Oh, are you?
Come on, Kenny.
Oh, you going to the board?
I was waiting on you, Kenny. Come on, man.
He doesn't race active players.
I don't race active players.
He active?
Well, you know what? Here we go. So
If he was active, he wouldn't be here.
sometimes, oh, that's crazy. Sometimes adjustments in the playoffs are very subtle. And this adjustment involves Rudy Gobert. They took Victor Wembanyama out the game early and sat him the rest of the
And he
first
didn't
quarter.
touch the board, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Touch the board. You
So-
gotta know the rules if you're playing the game, son. You
Here he
gotta
goes
know
again.
the rules. You gotta know the rules. You gotta know the rules if
Did you
you're
live
playing
up
the
there?
game.
Here he goes again.
I saw that coming.
Get his work done in the paint, and there's no Rudy Gobert on the floor, which then leads to he step out 0 for 8 from 3 last game. Who's back on the floor now? Rudy Gobert. Now I can take you to the perimeter and get it done. So I think with Coach Finch, he took him out, Coach Johnson took him out. He made the adjustment. They're playing a lot faster when Rudy's not on the floor, and they're getting up and down. But when Rudy's on the floor, they're taking Vic out the game, and they're allowing him to come back in against the smaller guys. He's establishing himself in the post, and then he can work outside, and I think that's why he's having a better game tonight.
I'd like to see, like I said, there's no reason for him to take 8 3-pointers. I don't care who they playing. He took 8 3-pointers last game. I'm like, come on, man. We've had this conversation about Joel. Like, if you can shoot a couple jumpers, but if you in the post, you still whether it's Rudy or anybody else, they're going to have to double you. And that's the only weakness in this game. He got to get stronger in his lower body because you can push him out, but you said it earlier. Once he gets in the post, he's a lot to handle.
Wemby and Fox combining for 28 in the first half. They had 21 combined in game 1. This is tonight for game 2. Wemby was otherworldly on the defensive end. George alluded to the fact that he said he thought he spent too much energy on things on defense and on things that really didn't help the team. How did you see his opener?
I thought he was otherworldly in the first half defensively. I thought in the second half he looked tired. You got those guys, they're putting the body on him every play. They're putting the body on him offensively. They're attacking him defensively. And although he got the block shots to the point of Terrence Shannon Jr., they're going to keep going at him. And they got athletic guys with Terrence Shannon, Anthony Edwards, Nas Reed, Julius Randle. All those guys are getting downhill at him. So I think it's going to be interesting where they've managed Wemby's minutes all year long. They're not going to be able to do that in the playoffs, and I can see him wearing down like he did in game 1.
Yeah, 3 guys with double-digit blocks in a playoff game. Akeem and Andrew Bynum, in addition to Victor.
Is that the game he dunked on Shaq?
Victor Wembanyama.
I think that is. I think it is.
Before we hear from you two guys on this, 12 blocks, unless you're talking to Chris Finch.
When we looked at them, at least 4 of them were goaltending, maybe even a 5th. To me, it's a little alarming that none of them were called. So let's just say there were 4. That's 8 points. You know, the value of 8 points in an NBA game is massive.
How many of those do you think were goaltends?
He fouled me. He fouled me on the first one. But I mean, if you look at them, yeah, probably 3 or 4. Yeah. I wish I had that type of. I wish I had that type of treatment too.
On the offensive side,
Stop it.
Wemby did not have a big night. He was, 5 for 17. He missed all the threes he took, 0 for 8. In fact, he and De'Aaron Fox both failed to hit a three-pointer.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because to me, well, first of all, women shouldn't be taking 8 threes. That's too many threes for a 7'5" guy. You need to go down in the post where they have to double him and use his height to his advantage. But to me, it's De'Aaron Fox. He's the guy who's got to step up. You go back and look at that Portland series. Who was the guy who played great? We all make a big deal out of Wemby because he played fantastic. We love Castle. But if you actually look at the game, Fox was fantastic in those games, especially the games that Wemby, the one game he didn't play, or 2 games he didn't play basically, or got hurt. But De'Aaron Fox to me is the guy. I thought the Spurs just came out flat. They hadn't played a competitive game in a while. I thought the same thing about Oklahoma City last night. I thought they came out flat, but I think they're going to play better because to me, Minnesota didn't play great, and the Spurs played worse. You know, Anthony admitted, he said, I didn't play that good of a game. So to me, this is when the series, I'm looking forward to watching tonight. But the one thing that bothers me about the Spurs, why didn't they play? Why would you go from playing him X amount of minutes to 40? And because Dre said earlier, there's a lot more mental strain on you in the playoffs. There's a lot more physicality going on. They should have been ramping his minutes up. To go from playing him 30 minutes to 40 minutes, because like I say, let me give Minnesota some credit. If somebody blocked my damn shot 12 times, I'm not sure I'm going to keep going in there. I give them, Coach Finch, I don't know, I have no idea why he's talking about the goaltending. But give Minnesota, you're right, Aaron, that team is tough, they're confident, but man, they don't care. You're going to have to keep blocking it, and I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah, Jaden McDaniel says you just got to act like he's not there. And,
What?
and you know, Terrence Shannon says, look, I'm not going to stop going downhill.
Well,
you know?
If you keep going, he'll get 20 blocks in a game.
He's going to have to.
He could. I mean, it's not that wouldn't be a stretch, honestly, you know, for him because of his size and length. However, you know, the other thing that I felt that the Spurs have a tough time with is matching up with Julius Randle. And he is typically, you know, when he's playing, he plays like a 5. And then when Nas Reed comes into the game and Gobert goes out, he plays like, but now it's like, who guards him? Is it Wemby? Because he's doing things off the dribble. He plays like a point forward, but then at times he's going to shoot the three. Then at times he's going to drive. So I thought the uncertainty of who was going to guard him. Because the one thing about Wemby why he's shooting the threes is because when you switch on Wemby on most teams, you don't have size switching. Yeah. So with them, they have Nas Reed, they have Gobert, they have Randall, and they have McDaniel.
Those all too little, other than Gobert.
I mean, not all too little, but they're physically gifted enough to guard him. So, not disrespectful, if Draymond's not guarding Wembanyama and they switch off and they have one of your guards guarding him, they don't have this girth or the length. Yep, so where they have one or the other that can kind of slow him down and kept them perimeter too much.
He didn't get lobs. You know, he's gotten 10 points a game of lobs. Because they were just able to switch, he wasn't able to roll. He didn't get lobs. And another thing I thought they did, which was incredible, everyone always say space to the three to pull Wemby away from the rim. And he doesn't pull away from the rim. They put a guy in the dunker spot every play. And no matter what action was going on around it, they ducked him in. So in the second half, he wasn't able to get those blocks because he was tired, because they was ducking him in, putting the body on him every play.
We've talked about it before. Minnesota, in their 13 appearances in the playoffs, it's either been a first-round knockout or go to the Western Conference Finals. They took a step in that direction again this time, winning the opener in San Antonio.
Exactly. You know, Tim,
I do not remember Tim.
Tim is always he comes in a lot. I know Tim.
Hey, Rodney Dangerfield. What's that school movie? One of the best